You walk into your kitchen at night, you turn on the light, and something small freezes on the wall. A lizard, flat against the paint, completely still. Your first thought is to get it out. A broom, a shoe, a rolled-up newspaper. Before you do that, stop for 1 minute. That animal has been in your house for weeks, and it has been doing something for you every night while you were asleep and had no idea the small lizard on your wall is a gecko. In most warm countries, it is a house gecko from a group of species called Hemidac. It weighs about 4 grams less than a coin in your pocket. It has no venom. It has no claws that can hurt you, and it has zero interest in you. Here is the first fact that changes everything: that gecko is not living in your house for free. It is working every night. It hunts the insects that come inside: mosquitoes, moths, ants, termites, young cockroaches, small spiders, flies. Researchers who examined house gecko stomachs found all of those insects inside one animal. You probably noticed it always sits near a lamp. That position is not an accident. Insects fly toward light, so light became the best hunting spot on Earth. The gecko figured out human houses in a few generations, and geckos fight over the good lamps in the Pacific Islands. Biologists watched the same thing. The largest males take the wall closest to the bulb and chase the smaller ones into the dark corners. A porch light is prime real estate. Now look at how it is standing straight up on a smooth vertical wall or upside down on your ceiling. For 2,000 years, nobody could explain that. Aristotle described a lizard running up walls and had no answer. People guessed suction cups, then glue, then tiny hooks, then static electricity. Every one of those answers was wrong. In the year 2000, a team led by Keller Autumn took a single hair from a gecko toe and measured what it could pull. Each toe is covered in millions of microscopic hairs. They are called CT. Each hair splits at the tip into hundreds of even smaller branches, so 1 foot touches the wall at 1 billion points. At that distance, molecules start attracting each other. This is the weakest force in all of chemistry. The gecko wins by having enough contact points. One single hair pulled about 200 micronewtons, which sounds like nothing at all. Multiply it by every hair on the animal, and those feet could hold around 130 kilograms. A 4-gram lizard on your ceiling is using a tiny fraction of its grip, and that creates a strange problem. If your feet stick that hard, how do you ever take a step? The gecko peels each toe from the tip backwards, the way you pull tape off a wall. It changes the angle of the hairs by 30 degrees, and the grip simply disappears. That release takes 15 milliseconds, fast enough to run up glass at 15 steps every second, and the hairs clean themselves. In 2005, researchers showed something odd. Dust falls off the CT. After a few steps, no washing, no licking, no cleaning at all. Engineers noticed all of this. NASA built gecko grippers for space robots because suction cups do not work in vacuum. A team in Massachusetts built a pad the size of a postcard that held a grown adult on glass, copied from the animal frozen on your wall. Now the part almost everyone has seen and almost nobody understands. Grab a gecko, and it leaves its tail behind. That tail did not break by accident. It is built to come off. There are weak lines across the tailbones. Biologists call them fracture planes. The muscles pull, the tail separates, and the blood vessels close. Within seconds, then the strange part begins. The tail keeps moving on the floor. It flips, it twists, it jumps into the air. For up to 30 minutes, there is no brain inside it. Nerve circuits in the tail keep firing, burning energy stored in the tissue itself. A study in 2009 filmed those movements and found them complex and completely unpredictable, which is exactly the point. A snake watches the piece that is still moving, and the gecko is already gone. But this escape has a heavy price. The tail is where a gecko stores its fat. An animal that dropped it lost its reserve. It falls in social rank. It loses fights over the good lamps. It grows a new one in a few months, shorter and darker than the original, with a rod of cartilage inside instead of bone. It never works the same way again. So when a hand reaches for a gecko and the animal drops its tail to escape it, paid for a threat that was never real. Look closely at its eyes. You will never see it blink. House geckos have no eyelids at all. A clear scale covers each eye permanently, like a contact lens that never comes out. So how does it clean them? It licks its own eyeball with its tongue, and those eyes see a world you cannot. In 2004, scientists in Sweden tested a night gecko. In a dark room, the animal could tell colors apart in light, where a human sees only gray, around 350 times dimmer than the level our eyes need for color. Its pupil closes into a narrow line with several tiny pinholes along it. Each pinhole focuses a different color. At once, your dark kitchen looks bright and colorful to it. Now the sound almost every lizard on Earth is silent. Geckos are the loud exception. If you heard fast clicking at night, chock 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 from behind a picture frame, that was a male talking. He is telling other males the wall is taken and telling females exactly where he is. The word gecko comes from that call sailors in Southeast Asia heard a large species shouting something close to geck. Oh, and carried the name around the world you are calling the animal by its own voice. There may be something else under your roof. Two small white eggs pressed into a crack house. Geckos lay them two at a time. The shells are hard and sticky when fresh, so they glue themselves into the gap. Then they sit there for 6 to 10 weeks with no parent anywhere near them. Nothing feeds them, nothing guards them. The young hatch the size of a paperclip and start hunting the same night. One relative takes this even further. The morning gecko has no males at all. Every individual is female and every egg is a clone of the mother. A single animal arriving in a shipping crate can start an entire population by itself, which is how these lizards reached your country house. Geckos are stowaways. They travel in cargo and banana crates, inside wooden boxes and shipping containers. The common house gecko started in southern Asia and now lives on almost every warm continent in the United States. The Mediterranean house gecko was recorded in Texas in the 1950s. No invasion was ever planned. They simply got a free ride from us. So the real question, is it dangerous? It has teeth the size of sand grains. It has no venom of any kind. It cannot carry rabies. Its bite usually cannot break human skin. There is one honest precaution like all reptiles. It can carry salmonella. So wash your hands after touching it or after cleaning up where it has been. That is the entire risk. One small black dropping with a white tip is the only mess it will ever leave. Now compare that with what it removes. A house gecko hunts for hours after dark. Stomach studies find dozens of insects in one lizard mosquitoes that spread dengue. Come to your lights. Cockroaches come to your kitchen for the same reason you are running free pest control and you never installed it. Here is where people cause real damage. You spray insecticide around the porch light. The poison insects do not vanish. They slow down and become easy to catch, and the gecko eats every one of them. The poison collects inside the animal, helping you. People spray. The geckos disappear and the roaches come back stronger than before. Removing the gecko changes nothing for long. Geckos hold territories. A warm wall with a good lamp stays occupied. Another one arrives within a few days. Nothing was solved if it truly has to leave a room. Put a glass over it. Slide a sheet of paper underneath and carry it outside to a wall or a plant. Never grab it by the tail. That single move costs the animal its whole season. And if your nights get cold, understand why it came in. A gecko cannot produce its own heat. Your warm wall decides whether it survives until morning. So go back to that first moment. The light comes on, and the small shape freezes on the wall. It freezes because stillness saved its ancestors from owls, snakes, and everything that hunts movement. It is hoping you did not see it inside 4 grams of animal. There are toes that grip with molecular force, a tail that keeps fighting after it is gone, and eyes that read color in near darkness. Engineers have been copying those feet for 20 years, and they have not caught up yet. You can keep seeing a lizard to sweep away, or you can turn off the light and let it work. And the same idea covers your whole yard before deciding a small animal is a problem. Ask one simple question first. What does it eat? Very often the answer is the thing you wanted gone.